I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting sheep but running out. As time ticks by,
Tick-tock.
still I try. No rest for cross-chops in my mind. On my own, here we go.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You're dialed in. It's been a while for the Little Red Whistle, so we had to make an early appearance here into the show. You're dialed in and listening to the experience known as the Unleashed Radio Hour. I am your host, Ron Klinger, excited to be with you here on Business 1110 KTEK. Now listen, we're going to get started here in just a second, but I do this at the beginning of every single show. If you're not out there dialed in and connected while you're listening, if you ain't connected out on Facebook, well, then you need to get out there. What are you waiting for? Do it. Do it today. This is a subliminal message. You will go out to Facebook. You will type into the search bar, Unleashed Radio Hour, and you will like the page. I'm not sure what just happened there, Mike, but can I get an amen?
Amen.
See, that's how we get started here today. We're live and in living color. We're ready to rock and we're ready to roll with our guest online. Hey, you hear the music? That means we got to run to a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to jump in, and it's story time here on the Unleashed Radio Hour.
It's getting warm out there. No, we're in Houston, Texas. It's getting hot out there, so get out of that Texas heat and come to Pasadena Gun Center. They have a 25-yard indoor range, great prices on firearms, a full-service gunsmith, and $50 in-house license to carry classes. Plus, every Wednesday is Ladies' Day. Ladies, you shoot free all day, and both machine and handgun rentals are half price for all customers. Ammo purchase required. Pasadena Gun Center, 206 East Shaw in Pasadena. Call 713-472-0417 or online at PasadenaGunCenter.com. Pasadena Gun Center. Why go anywhere else?
Del Walmsley here. The first thing you're going to have to learn is until you stop expecting the politicians or anyone else to change your life isn't going to change. The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to The Del Walmsley Radio Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here on Business 1110 KTEK and Business1110KTEK.com.
This is Business 1110.
Yeah, if that doesn't kickstart your heart, then I don't know what does. Ha! That's the point. That is the purpose. That is the intent of the show here, the Unleashed Radio Hour on Business 1110 KTEK here in Houston, Texas. Dialed in. I want to know if folks are listening out there. If you are and you're connected on Facebook, give me a holla. Let me know that you're listening. I'll give some shout outs as we go through the process. But here's what I want you to understand, and here's what I want you to comprehend. This show is about putting information, tools, and resources on the airwaves to help you unleash your career and your business. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, is no different. We're going to get to our guest here in just a second. But before we do, again, I want to plead, I want to grovel, I want to beg. I need you to get out there, get online, follow along, stay connected to the show. If you have not liked the page on Facebook for the Unleashed Radio Hour, now would be a great time. Of course, if you're driving and you're behind the wheel, save that for later. But if you're chillaxing because you're listening to this stream live out there at UnleashedRadioHour.com, if you're dialed in because you're listening because it's a podcast, whether it be on iTunes, where you found this under Unleashed Radio Hour, or out on the website, UnleashedRadioHour.com. Hey, just make sure you like the page, stay on point, stay with us as we rock with today's show. Now, remember, I said information, tools, resources. Well, we're going to add stories to that list today, and it is my distinct honor and privilege, and I say this with all due respect, to welcome to the airwaves my good friend, Esther Choy. Esther is the founder and president of Leadership Story Lab, where she conducts and coaches managers and leaders in storytelling techniques She's currently teaching in the executive education programs at Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management. And as I mentioned, probably the most important thing is she's my friend. And here's an important quote that'll tie us in here. People forget facts, but they never forget a good story. But we're going to leave our college stories behind us. Esther, welcome to the show.
Ron Klinger, how are you?
Hey, blessed and highly favored now to have you on the other line. We've been working at this for a couple of weeks now, and here we are. It's a reality. I'm so excited to be able to share your story, to put a spotlight on what you're doing with your new book. And actually, the official drop date is the 27th. Is that correct?
It is, but hey, books have already been shipped 2 weeks prior to that.
And I've got one here in my grubby paws in studio. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're dialed in, hey, listen, the name of the book, the title of the book is Let the Story Do the Work.
Yep.
The Art of Storytelling for Business Success. This is your first book out the gates. Congratulations on that work.
Thank you.
Amen to that. So, Esther, I know you, but our folks don't know you. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with a Leadership Story Lab, and more importantly, what's your story?
Well, I like to say that storytelling is a strategic sequencing of facts and emotion. You need facts. You need to be selective and considerate of what facts you share. But more importantly, you got to weave it with with intention of the emotional impact that you wish to bring with your fact. So I teach classical storytelling to modern leaders. I adhere to the classical structure to all stories, regardless is fiction, nonfiction, whatever genre, long, short, flash, trilogy, they all share the same structures and elements in common, but I do so with modern leaders, with modern demands, with a lot of business executives who own their own businesses and find it increasingly important to tell their stories.
And we could sit here and tell stories all day long, but what you did is you dialed in, you answered that question. We talked about this earlier is, so what do you do? That everyone has the answer. But guess what? We've got some answers for that later, don't we?
We do, because hey, man, we met each other for a little too many years ago, and I know you've had a really great story career, and even if I meet you for the first time, I still want to know, hey, Ron, so you seem like a great guy, so what do you do?
Exactly.
You know about that?
Hey, yeah, and you know what? We're going to put that on a tee, and we're going to leave that dangle out there for a little while, because we're going to go fishing with it later on in the other half of the show. How does that sound to you?
Sounds perfect, man.
Perfect. So, hey, when you look at this, again, undertaking the process of writing a book is no short task whatsoever. So why did you decide to put this all together? Tell us about that journey of writing the book. Why write the book? What's the need?
Well, I would like to say that over the past 8 years, I've trained thousands of executives, and I would like to say, based on my clients' responses and feedback and testimonial, that I've done a great job. But one thing is that it is not difficult to comprehend intellectually, but it's really hard to practice because we default to what we know, what we are familiar with, and then we don't think about what stories our audience are hungry for. And it takes a little bit of work. It's not too much. And I thought, what better way to encapsulate everything I know the past 8 years, put them all in a single book, whether it's hard copy or ebook or audio, and in actually many other languages, as I just found out last Friday, that people have in their hand. So if they're about to make a big presentations with a lot of data, they can go to the data storytelling page. If they're about to go to talk to a client who are already quite familiar with what they're doing, but what they're working on, but they're looking for something new and fresh and different, what other better way to add simple and powerful visual element? You can go to that chapter. So I want to make it easy. I want to make it convenient for people who know that they need to use the storytelling skills in their everyday business communications, but they can't set aside 2 days or 2 weeks to go through the training. They have the book. They're ready to go.
There you go. So it's the portable you in your hand, right?
I like that. It's the portable me. There you go.
There you go. Hey, so we're going to hashtag that. The portable me is my book and my story. And again, that's where we're getting to this. I put out there, and I think I got the seal of approval, because the need as I see it, and what I've been able to digest or process through your book, we have gotten to a point where everyone's in a hurry. Everyone's in a hustle. It's bits, it's bytes, it's hashtags, it's 140 character tweets, and we've lost that ability to truly communicate and connect to one another.
Yep. And early in my career doing this, I've come across a few executives. They have done a lot of consultings in their lives. They've done a lot of seen a lot of presentations. And they asked me these questions that many years ago I didn't know how to answer. And they said, I've seen a ton of presentations in my life. I don't remember a single point of data. But I remember stories. I remember these random stories. I don't even remember where I heard them from, but I remember them. Why is that? Well, that's just how we're wired. That's how we're built. That's how we are. We're wired for stories. And then when you hear a good story, you slow down. Sometimes you stop what you're doing and you listen in. And that's the glue that binds us together.
Oh, I hear you. It's because you want to hear how the story ends. You want to hear the conclusion. You want to hear and see the thread, whether it's Act 1, 2, or 3. I read the book. Did you not tell?
Very good. You did your homework.
I did. Do I get an A or a gold star?
Yes. A+.
Can I get an amen? Amen. See, that's how we do it here on the Unleashed Radio Hour. Hey, we preaching and we teaching here on Business 1110 KTEK. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just dialed in here, I have with us my good friend, former colleague and classmate at Texas A&M and graduate school, Esther Choy. Again, founder and president of Leadership Story Lab. Real quick, to learn more, you can go out to leadershipstorylab.com. Again, that's all one word together, leadershipstorylab.com. You can also follow along on Twitter at Leader Story Lab. How do you like that plug?
I love it. You just did it. I barely noticed it.
Well, hey, that's because I tell a good story. All right, so real quick, hey, let's get into this. Let's start talking about this, and we'll build into this into the next couple of segments. So we know this. We've talked. Why would I want to know how to tell story, or why would story help me in business?
Well, can I ask you a question first?
You asked permission to ask a question. I know that's a good one. Go ahead.
Do you consider yourself a hard worker?
Can I get an amen? Amen. That would be an affirmative.
Do you consider yourself a smart person?
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far sometimes, but yes.
All right, let me answer that for you. Amen, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we've established that. You're hardworking and you're smart. And last question, do you think you got your heart in the right place?
That is one thing I know for sure.
Okay. So that puts you in with about 50% of the people I know. They are smart, they're hardworking, they got the best intention, their heart's in the right place. But it's not enough. And how do I know that? Because I used to work for University of Chicago Business School. I was in the full-time MBA admissions office, so I had to, along with my colleagues, screen thousands and thousands, literally thousands and thousands of applicants and interview them. And when I was there, the school decided to do something very unusual. They decided to offer denied feedback. Ooh. Now, denied feedback were those 15-minute phone conversations where each of us took a caseload of denied applicants. Those are people who had applied in the previous years and were denied, and we're supposed to give them some helpful feedback.
And
I noticed.
I read that. Now I'm going to jump in here just because we're going to run to a break here real soon, Esther.
Yeah.
I read that section, and what I learned is that's not a common practice. That's like applying for a job and not understanding why you didn't get the job. They don't typically do that. So what I want to do when we come back from the break, ladies and gentlemen, I want to find out, how do we take it to the next level? If being hardworking, being smart, and having your heart in the right place is only 50%, well, what's left? You'll find out right after these messages.
Hello, beautiful. I'm Madison Reed, and my mom named her revolutionary hair color company after me. My mom taught me that women can do anything they set their mind to.
Hi, I'm Madison's mom, Amy Errett. I founded Madison Reed with the idea to create luxurious, ammonia-free, salon-quality, at-home hair color that saves women time and money. In under an hour and for less than $25, Madison Reed delivers gorgeous, multi-dimensional, shiny hair. I'm proud to say Madison Reed is a female-led company. From our chief marketing officer to our master colorist, we are all women and top experts in our field. Founded in love, we are a hair color company led by women, made for women. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code GRATEFUL. That's code GRATEFUL.
Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Bingo.
Attention managers, business owners, and human resources professionals. Do you struggle with positively engaging and developing your team? Hi, this is Ron Klinger, host of the Unleashed Radio Hour. For over a decade, I have been coaching and helping leaders just like you. From management and leadership training to individual coaching and support, I can help you address the everyday challenges you face in your business or organization. If you're looking for a partner to your success, call the man who can help you with your plan. You can reach me online at motivationaltransitions.com or by phone at 832-746-9760.
This is Business 1110.
All right, well, we hope you're loving it here, because we rocking and we rolling here. On the Unleashed Radio Hour, your host, Ron Klinger, you're dialed in, or as I like to say, this is the experience known as the Unleashed Radio Hour, which hopefully is a positive one for you. We've got my good friend, and now, and wait, I saved the best title here for you. A best friend is a good friend is a good title, but author sounds pretty darn cool too.
I am humbled and honored and ecstatic to be able to add that word to my title as well.
In addition to all the other hats that you wear, right?
Yes.
Amen. So, hey, listen, before we went to the break, you blew my doors away, and I hope that folks are out there listening, that guess what? Being a hardworking individual, being relatively smart, and you can judge that however we'd like to judge that one, and having your heart in the right place, that's just not enough to succeed in the world today. So what, Esther, is left?
Well, lucky for those of us who are listening to your radio, their story. And why or how do I know a story is that important was that during those summer months when I had to pinch my nose and close my eyes, and right before I closed my door and these denied feedback call, I realized that I came across these highly qualified applicants. I mean, you look at their numbers, you look at their profile, you just scratch your head, actually, and wonder, why didn't we admit them? And it really puzzled me. So once I got a bit of distance from it, and this is years afterwards, I realized that in a competitive environment, everybody has qualifications. Everybody has the numbers. Everybody has the smarts. Everybody at least say that they have the best intention. But to decision makers, they all seem like perfect substitutions for each other. And that's why I made it a mission to not just teach storytelling, but weave the techniques that I teach with social science insight. So in this instance, whether you are pitching a product, whether you are trying to go after a new account, whether you're interviewing for a new job, always remember that there's this inherent built-in bias, it's not right, but that's just how we are, that we like others who are like us. So if you tell stories, especially the kind of stories that resonate and relevant and relatable, then you come across as all that much more qualified and much more of a better fit to decision makers than everyone else who have the right numbers and the right qualifications. And that's what I got out of that unpleasant, difficult, challenging experience, but that set the course for my career ever since.
So if I can kind of recapture this here before we go to this next break, it was learning about the applicants into an MBA program, who was getting in, who wasn't getting in, and the differentiator that you found, if I can put it into it, was the relevancy of the data and the figures that they told, but more importantly, the story as to why we can connect.
You're the master, man.
Woohoo! Can you repeat that? Because we're going to record it and we're going to broadcast it.
Ron Klinger's the master, man.
Woohoo! We got it. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, on the Unleashed Radio Hour. Hey, listen, Esther, we're going to run to another quick break here in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick again, if you want to learn more, I'm going to give you the information. Go out to leadershipstorylab.com, leadershipstorylab.com. You can also follow along on Twitter at leaderstorylab. And then, hey, this is cool. If you really want to do some fun searches, go out and look at success.com. Again, success.com. Hey, you set the bar pretty darn high, because they said of their favorite personal development books in July 2017, guess what made the list? Well, You Let the Story Do the Work by Esther Choy. Amen. Hey, we're going to rock and roll. We'll be right back after these messages.
Writing a Christian book, you're doing an amazing thing, getting it all down on paper. But once you've got the manuscript, then what? Well, you can spend a year or more trying to find a publisher, or you can cut right to the chase. Make your book real with Zulon Press. Finding a publisher is time-consuming and uncertain. With Zulon Press, things are quick and definite. They specialize in one thing, helping Christian authors put their books in print. Zulon Press will publish your book. Zulon Press gets it into bookstores. Your book is on Amazon. Work with Zulon Press and there's no question, you are a published author. If you're writing a Christian book, get your free publishing guide from Zulon Press. Just log on to ChristianPublishing.com. That's ChristianPublishing.com. Zulon Press. Book publishing by Christians for Christians. Get your free publishing guide at ChristianPublishing.com. Zulon Press is a division of Salem Communications, the same people who bring you this nifty radio station.
This is Business 1110.
Yes, the theme is there. We are rocking, we are rolling today here on the Unleashed Radio Hour. Your host, Ron Klinger. This is a production of Motivational Transitions. You can learn more by going to motivationaltransitions.com, and you can follow along with the show. Everything related to the show is at unleashedradiohour.com, including all of our past show topics that are out there as podcasts, as well as any additional resources or tools to help you unleash your career and business. All right, look, we're having fun here, Esther. I've got online, ladies and gentlemen, if you just dialed in, author Esther Choy, who is the founder and president of Leadership Story Lab. You can learn more at leadershipstorylab.com. And we're talking about her premier book that when I went to break, I said, you're on one of the top lists already this summer. How cool is that?
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I thank you for everybody who has ordered. You can go to all major online retailers. It's there, and you'll get it probably the next day after you order.
There you go. There you go. Hey, because I got mine in my hand. It's all good. I've been able to go through it. And look, a little bit more. I don't think we completely covered the topic, but I want to go back. Again, why do if I'm in business, if I'm a business owner, I am a leader, I am in, whatever the case might be, whatever hat I may wear, why would telling stories or being a good storyteller help me in my business, Esther?
Number one, it's much more memorable than facts. In fact, it's up to 20 times more memorable than sharing a piece of fact by itself. But if you put it in the context of narrative, people are much more likely to remember it. Two, if you've done your homework, such as reading my book, you will be able to strike that connections and that perceived likeness. And then three, then people have a much better sense of who you are within relatively much less, not a whole lot of time. Then they remember your story. They feel like you guys are the same tribe, and then they can trust you. So what is business but trust and relationship?
Well, hey, and you hit the nail on the head, which is why I was so excited when I learned more about your book, which is why I reached out to you immediately, said, okay, we need to get you here on the show, get you some momentum. And what I love about this is in advance to the actual official drop date, which is the 27th of July. Can I get it? Amen.
Amen.
Look, see, so that means we're part of the tribe, right? We're the same tribe here?
Of course.
Of course.
Decades.
Exactly. Hey, speaking of that, and I won't mention the class that rocks, but I want to give a shout out to Nora, who is out there from our graduate program, who's I know for sure is listening in because she let me know out there on Facebook. Nora, glad to have you streaming the show here on Unleashed Radio Hour. How cool is that, Esther? Our classmates.
No kidding.
Here we are all these years later, and we're still connected thanks to social media. Hey, what else? Hey, let's keep going here. You've got some tips. Give us a good, quick tip that we can start to talk about, and we'll get into the next segment here. But what's a quick tip for helping someone learn the art of storytelling?
If you find yourself out of time, out of budget, which happens a lot to business owners, executives, leaders, always remember, if you can't do anything else, you have no time for anything else, make sure you leave a good hook with your audience.
Hey, that's a good hook. H to the double OK, right?
H to the double OK, yep.
There you go. All right. So wait a minute. For those who do not know or because they think it's just going fishing, what is a hook?
Picture yourself being presented with half of a masterpiece. What goes through your mind right away?
Where's the other half?
Where's the other half? What's going on? What happened to the other half? What is in the other half? What that does is your mind immediately goes to work. You're trying to figure it out.
So listen here. Guess what, Esther? We're going to leave everybody on a hook because we're going to run to a break so they can come back and hear the rest of it right after these messages.
Attention homeowners, why do you throw away hundreds of dollars every month to the electric company when you can save thousands of dollars over time with a solar energy system that increases the value of your home and eventually can have you enjoying no monthly payment at all? Green Solar Technologies has years of experience as leaders in residential and commercial solar systems and is proud to be a platinum installer for Solar World, the country's top-selling manufacturer of American-made solar panels. Call 800-507-1148 today for a free estimate and to take advantage of current tax credits, grants, and rebates, which can save you even more. Green Solar Technologies guides you through every step, including financing options, which will allow you to enjoy all the benefits of solar power for zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for the first year. Stop paying high energy bills and start saving money today by calling Green Solar Technologies at 800-507-1148. That's 800-507-1148. 800-507-1148.
This is Business 1110.
All right. Hey, I know it's our songs know what you did in the night, but we want to know what your story. Wait a minute. Maybe we needed the story to some other context. In the context of our show today, we're here today, ladies and gentlemen, with author and president and founder of Leadership Story Lab, Esther Choy, good friend of mine. Esther, how'd you like that setup for that hook?
You're the master man.
We're going to keep repeating that, the master man. I like that. Little Eminem right there, little master man. Hey, so keep going. Tell us more about the hook.
The hook. Imagining yourself looking at a half-missing masterpiece. Your mind immediately goes to work, and that's what you want. That's what you want to implant a hook in the beginning of your story, in your presentation, in your conversation, is that you subtly invite your audience, invite them to work for the information without them realizing that they're doing it.
Oh, you're playing some psychology on the brain.
Now, keep in mind, though, people enjoy it. They
right?
Don't like to know
it keeps them creative, right?
So how do you plant a hook? It's easy to say, hey, just paint a half-painted picture. Now, the way that I like to set it up is, and if you read my book, you probably remember, there are 3 C's, and that are conflicts, contrast, or contradiction.
All right, repeat those for folks so they can write them down.
Conflict, contrast, or contradiction.
All right, I got them all down.
You don't need to be a superhero to tell great stories. All you need is the right tools. This is one of the tools. Once you convey the conflict or set up the contrast or contradict your audience's expectation, but in the very beginning, make sure you do that in the very beginning of the story. Then you can be talking about something that seemed rather mundane, but people will be hooked. And you don't have to be a superhero to tell great stories.
Although I do like superheroes. I don't know about you.
Well, hey, if you are, all the more power to you.
But I'm bummed. Hey, we're having fun here today, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, listen, go out, take a look. LeadershipStoryLab.com. The title of the book we're here talking today with author Esther Choy, Let the Story Do the Work, The Art of Storytelling for Business Success. And you just hit those 3 C's, conflict, contrast, or contradiction. It's a way to set the bait or the hook to get you to go fishing and have your audience follow along. How'd you like that set up?
Perfect. Make them your co-investigator rather than a passive recipient.
Get them engaged and get them involved. Outstanding. So, look, one of these stories, I want to talk a little bit about this here, and I told you it was one of mine that I gravitated towards in the book, and it's the story that you told on Retain a Star Employee or Not.
And that's from a client who had a long face when I saw him one day, and he said, I'm about to lose Steve, who was a up-and-comer. They had come to rely on him for all sorts of things that they're just so grateful to have found this guy. He interned with them since he was in college, but he somehow forgot to tell him.
Say what?
How much he appreciated having him for all these years and being able to trust him and rely on him. You never told him. So from Steve's point of view, he thought, well, I'm treated well, but all the senior guys are not going anywhere. I've got nowhere to go in this company. I want to grow professionally. So even though I like it here, they're treating me well, I have to go look somewhere else.
Wow. Did they actually lose Steve? Did he move on?
Yep.
See, and that's where I can't. Okay, so managers, business owners, leaders that are out there, if you have talented individuals on your team, you need to let them know that that's where they are, right? No different than any professional sports team. If they're a top prospect, they know they're a top prospect. And there are expectations that come with that. But the other thing that comes with it is they know to stick around. They know to stick around.
And I think, on a fair point, he was treated well, and they thought that was enough. Of course, Steve knows that we value him, but they never acknowledged to him verbally, and so he thought, well, everybody pays well around here, don't they? So how am I that special? How am I any special than anybody else?
No, and that's a great point, and that dials us in that you really have to do. It goes back to that disconnect that we have in the world today, and especially in the business world, where we're so busy doing, we don't pause long enough to communicate and share.
Can I tell you a secret, Ron?
Yeah, but please do. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a secret just about to follow.
You don't even have to be good at storytelling to make the most use of telling stories.
Wait, I don't have to be a professional?
No. You don't have to be good at it, although this is learnable, coachable, and all of that. But the best weapon, storytelling, is to get other people to tell their stories.
Well, wait a minute. It's not about me telling the story, but other people's stories?
No, not at all. Even when you're telling a story about yourself, it's not about you. It's about the audience.
Ah, there's the key, knowing your audience.
Knowing your audience. Now, when you are not telling stories, and there should be at least a 50-50 total share of this time that you have with your audience, is that you are priming them, prompting them, getting them to tell stories, their stories, as much as you are telling your own. What happened? Why is that important? Because when you get other people to tell their stories, they feel acknowledged, they then feel grateful, and then they know something often about themselves that they didn't previously know, and therefore you formed an extra bond with them. And that, again, goes back to trust and relationship.
No, you're absolutely key. We are, and one thing that folks out there listening today, which is why I love the content of your book, Esther, let the story do the work, is that it is absolutely about relationships, right? It's about relationships. If you can't build relationships, not only internally with your team members, if you're a manager or leader or a coworker, but also with your clients that you serve. Why should they buy from you or use the services that you provide if there's no relationship there?
Yep. In a world of perfect substitutions, no matter how special you think your offering is, there's always perfect substitutions in the eyes of the consumer.
Everyone's replaceable, right?
Yep, except trust and relationship.
Exactly. So those are key factors that I'm going to segue us perfectly, timing-wise, into something else because it relates to this. So if you're trying to go out and you're trying to build that trust in those relationships, a lot of folks go to networking events to build those relationships. And I highlighted this specifically at the bottom of page 172 of your book. And I love how you put it, the dreaded, and in quotation marks, what do you do? Now, we set that up at the beginning of the hour. What's a way that someone can positively... So, Bob, what do you do?
Well, we've also set it up continually after, at the top of the hour, is that the best way to respond to the most dreaded question at a networking event, what do you do, is by planting a hook.
Oh, there it comes again. So, wait a minute. We did that at the beginning of the hour with this question, didn't we?
Yep, we did it.
Hey, namaste. I'm a good student to the master. So how do you take someone through this process if they don't know how to answer that question, Esther?
I would offer a few quick rule of thumb.
Okay.
Try to stay away from your title.
All right.
Try to stay away from your industry. And try to pinpoint the key benefit of what you do, and then have the discipline to shut up.
Oh, really? You mean I actually have to be quiet?
Yes.
Oh, man. Hey, wait a minute. Let's get an applause in here from my engineer. Mike's on the board. Hey, he may not get paid this week, so we'll see how well that works. All right, so let's try this out. So Esther, what do you do?
I do storytelling.
What? You do storytelling? Like around the campfire?
Well, that's fun. I do that sometimes, but that's not what I do for a living. I teach storytelling to executives.
Boom, hit it out of the ballpark just like that. Wait a minute, you teach story to executives? Why do executives need to know about storytelling?
They're typically at a point in their career, they have lots of people working for them. They have their teams. They are doing the work. And their role has transformed into persuading, influencing, building relationship, defending, and so on and so forth, and coaching and mentoring, all of which require good storytelling in order for them to excel at their work.
Boom. See, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the expert. You heard it from the pro, Esther Choy. You can go out, check out her book, Let the Story Do the Work, The Art of Storytelling for Business Success. Esther, we're going to run to a break here in just a second, but I want to prime the pump. I want you to think about it if you've got any, and we talked about this in our correspondence. We're coming up, ladies and gentlemen, on the Be Positive segment of the Unleashed Radio Hour. When we come back, we're going to share a quote. Maybe Esther's got a good quote or story she can tell, and we'll talk a little bit more about learning about her book right after these messages.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote. Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-207-1265. 800-207-1265. 800-207-1265.
Attention managers, business owners, and human resources professionals. Do you struggle with positively engaging and developing your team? Hi, this is Ron Klinger, host of the Unleashed Radio Hour. For over a decade, I have been coaching and helping leaders just like you. From management and leadership training to individual coaching and support, I can help you address the everyday challenges you face in your business or organization. If you're looking for a partner to your success, call the man who can help you with your plan. You can reach me online at motivationaltransitions.com or by phone at 832-746-9760.
This is Business 1110.
Oh, yeah. We're bringing the energy here today. We're telling stories. We're having fun. We're reconnecting. with friends near and far. I want to give a shout out to Amy. Amy, who is just now dialing in and listening to the show. Amy was one of our classmates that I have in common with our guest and author, Esther Choy, where today we're talking about Let the Story Do the Work, the art of storytelling for business success. Esther, I found a great quote I'm going to share. If you got one, feel free to chime in here in just a second. But I thought this, and unfortunately I can't give it to you, but I think it supports the message that you're getting across. Storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world.
Amen to that.
See, she's picked up on, we're already synced, we're already in jive here on the Unleashed Radio Hour. Now, and I think that's really what you're working to accomplish with your book, Let the Story Do the Work.
I do, and there are a lot of great books already on a similar topic. And one thing that I am especially proud of about mine is that I leave readers with plenty of templates, plenty of step-by-step. It's a very much how-to, but couched in a modern business setting.
No, and that's the key is practical steps, practical ways by of which sharing your story to help others share theirs. What we got another minute for a good tip. So we already got the hook. What's another quick tip that you can give before we have to go to our next break?
Again, if you find yourself running out of time or budget, just generally limited by resources, and a lot of us face constraints somehow, I've talked about the beginning, which is why the hook is so important. Then let's talk about the end. Uh-oh. Now, a lot of people tell their stories, they do a good job, and they think, I'm done. The rest, everybody will figure it out. Well, I have good news and bad news for listeners. Most audience don't. So it is important to first figure out what's your hook, so you get people's attention, you keep them working, you keep them guessing, they stay with you. But then instead of then think about what's Act 2, stop. Don't bother with Act 2. Go to Act 3. Go to the end. Think about what is the takeaway. Think about if your audience forget everything else you said. They really do. Oftentimes they do. What 3 short bullet-sized things do you wish that they will remember? If you set that up, if you got your end, your prize you keep the prize in mind, then the middle, it will figure it out itself.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the whole tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you wanted to tell them, and then remind them of what you told them.
Not quite, but it's in the goal setting, right? That you're going to San Francisco rather than New York, right? That sets your direction, and that gives you a great pair of scissors from which to trim the excess. A lot of people say, I know so much, I have so much information, how do I know what to include and what to exclude? Well, what's your goal? If they don't remember anything else, what do you wish they'll remember? Have that in mind, and then build everything else around it, build everything else that moves towards it. If it doesn't move, your story for it, cut it out.
There you go. Hey, and I don't mean to cut you out, but we got to go to a break. We'll come back for our final segment.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-344-2066. 800-344-2066. 800-344-2066. That's 800-344-2066.
This is Business 1110.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Well, hopefully you can, and you want to get out, you want to put your hands on it. It's called Let the Story Do the Work, the art of storytelling for business success. I have with us, I have had the pleasure and the honor, our guest, my friend Esther Choy. Congratulations on the launch of your new book. You got a lot that's going on. We've got a real quick segment here to close out our thoughts. What do you really want people to remember about today's show and your book?
I had a stat professor in business school. I hated stat. He was teaching my required course, but he told lots of stories. And where I thought I hated stat, I thought stat was useful. After his class, I voluntarily took not one more, not two more, 3 more stat classes.
Wait, you took 3 more statistics courses?
Uh-huh.
Woo, you crazy girl.
Well, all because of this professor who told great stories, who connected with me, who motivated me. And you know what? He made me believe that I could do something that I didn't think I have the capability of doing. And what more should you expect a leader to do?
You know what? That is absolutely, positively a great story that can support your book, Let the Story Do the Work, the art of storytelling for business success. You can find us at all the online retailers. You can also go out to the website at leadershipstorylab.com. Again, that is leadershipstorylab.com. And you can follow along with Esther online on Twitter at Leader Story Lab. Again, Leader Story Lab. And the website is leadershipstorylab.com. Esther, it's been a pleasure to have you on the airwaves. Hard to believe, but we're already coming to the end of the show.
What?
I know, it happened so quick, but what a great show, what a great topic. It's been a pleasure to have you on the airwaves.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun.
Oh, can I get an amen?
Amen.
Woohoo! Hey, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a close of another hour, and known as the experience of the Unleashed Radio Hour. You know, look, it's just like that we bring information, tools, and resources to the airwaves to help you unleash your career and business. I want you to make sure you keep dialing in, keep following along, go out online, follow along on Facebook by searching Unleashed Radio Hour. Tag along with me on the Twitterverse at Ron Unleashed, and stay tuned to everything related to the Unleashed Radio Hour, including the podcast of this show at UnleashedRadioHour.com. Again, many thanks to my good friend Esther Choy. Best of luck with her new book, Let the Story Do the Work. You've been listening to the Unleashed Radio Hour. As always, it is an honor, it is a privilege to be with you on the airwaves. Until next week, see ya! Attention managers, business owners, and human resources professionals. Do you struggle with positively engaging and developing your team? Hi, this is Ron Klinger, host of the Unleashed Radio Hour. For over a decade, I have been coaching and helping leaders just like you. From management and leadership training to individual coaching and support, I can help you address the everyday challenges you face in your business or organization. If you're looking for a partner to your success, call the man who can help you with your plan. You can reach me online at motivationaltransitions.com or by phone at 832-746-9760.